Okay, Sean Chido is traveling today, so I get you all to myself, Mikel Sandoval. So thank you so much for being on today on this incredible interview with Next Level Salon Leadership.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and help and support anybody within the industry that, needs a little confidence boosting or reassurance as to like where they're at in their lives within the industry, standing behind the chair or running a business.
Yeah, 1000%. And I just know this is not going to be the last time we talk. I think we're going to be corresponding and working on a lot of projects together. Mikel, I just adore you. I've always watched you from a distance and always said somehow, some way, I need to be in Mikel's life. And so I'm super excited to do this interview. And I want to introduce to you guys an incredible man. He's been 40 plus years in the salon business. And it's funny, I always say plus now, Mikel, because I'm 25 plus. And the only reason why I say the word plus is because I can't remember how many years. So you're at the plus stage for sure, 40 plus salon owner. Also, you received 2 years in a row, 2020 and 2021 with Salon Today 200 award for referral and retention. This is goals for me. I would love to be able to get an award from Salon Today 200. So I'm definitely going to have to get into your face for this as well. You've been a master associate, and this is where I got to know you, master associate and international platform artist for hairstylists all around the world with John Paul Mitchell Systems, traveling globally from South Africa to Canada. And why am I saying Canada? Because I live right next door to Canada. So I had to say that. It's like my hometown. People think I'm Canadian, Mikel, because I have some sort of accent apparently from being around Canadians all the time because they're always in my hometown.
Northern, sure.
I love it. So you also work with Inspiring Champions as a salon business coach. And I love Lauren Gartland so much, founder of Inspiring Champions. I'm so excited that you work with that salon coaching team. And you're also going to be spearheading the Soaring Eagles program. I want to talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. But how exciting is that? And how exciting is it that you sold your salon and your Mikel's Experience is now a salon halo salon, who I absolutely love, Ryan, so much. She's incredible. We need to have her, but I've been trying to get her on to some of our interviews. She's been terribly, terribly busy, but I know I will corner her one of these moments. But Mikel, let's start out with that. So, because I've been working, Sean and I work with a lot of salon owners. We have one right now. She's super frustrated. She doesn't know if she really wants to keep her salon. And I think we've come to kind of a point in the seasons of life, right? We're in 2022, and in the salon business, it's been rough the last few years. Well, kid you not. And so how does one know that they should sell their salon business? And why did you, first and foremost, and what advice do you give to people for this?
Well, I think probably the first thing that I would have to say is understanding and finding joy in your life is probably the number one most important thing. And as a salon owner, I built my dream salon. I set a goal to be $1 million salon. In 2019, we had a fully packed, high spirited, motivated salon team. We were cranking it. We hit our goal of being $1 million salon. Woo! It was great. And then this thing called COVID got into our lives, as it did for so many salons and salon owners. And at that stage of the game, I think that the salon team that were the senior team members who had gone through our career path at Mikel's the Paul Mitchell Experience, they created, our salon, our culture, our team. They were in it to win it. They were knocking it out of the park. Their retail sales, their pre-booking scores, they were just incredible, talented people. And through the quarantine, I think they really just started to look at their lives a little differently. They thought, I believe in their thoughts and minds and heads that, you know, why am I working so hard to, you know, struggle to make the salon success when maybe I should just do it on my own? So, like many salon owners have endured at some stage of their existence, people have a tendency to go away. And when that started to happen, and we always think that it's never going to happen to us, but when that does start to happen, you kind of think, okay, well, I'm going to push through. I can survive through this. And we did. But it's interesting that once the process starts to happen, other team members kind of see, gosh, this might be a different avenue for me to look at behind the chair. I've built my clientele. Maybe I can look at life behind the chair a little differently. Although it's not for everybody, because there are so many talented individuals that want to come to the salon, do their salon guests, make great money, great tips, and not worry about inventory or restocking or making sure there's enough back bar or making sure there's enough clients coming through the door, et cetera. And they will continue to stay and be the commission stylists so that they can literally walk in, do hair, clock out, go home, enjoy their family, friends, and enjoy life. For us, it got to a point where we were kind of struggling along, didn't know where the next experienced stylist was going to come from. I know there's a lot of salon owners and some that I'm even coaching through Inspiring Champions that are kind of having the same difficulty of finding the next talent to come in and occupy a chair. There are some that are moving into growing their own and taking them from cosmetology schools. For me, it's Paul Mitchell, the school. It always has been. It always will be. It was that kind of career path. I'd go into the school. I'd target these kids. I'd bring them in. We'd grow our own. And that's really how we built our culture. And I'm privileged and I'm honored that my senior staff members, those kids, you know, they're on their own. I'm proud of them because they had the courage to do it. I remember being that guy myself 25 years ago when I left a big salon and ventured on my own. So I can only have respect for them, but at the same time, it's hard to not take it personal. So when that all happened, now it's probably time to shift the mode. What does that look like? At one point, I wasn't quite sure, you know, gosh, as we struggle to make payroll, as we struggle to see if we can make sure that the rent is paid in this large 3,400 square foot salon, I really say that I was blessed and I was given a gift. And that gift was Ryan Halo, because she wasn't looking to buy a salon. I wasn't looking to sell my salon. We came together and had a conversation, and the conversation led to a luncheon. Luncheon led into more conversations and dinner out, and really just seeing that our businesses ran so parallel together that this could be an opportunity for her. It could be an opportunity for me. It could be an opportunity for her salon team, and it could be an opportunity for our salon team. So we kind of came to the conclusion that I think she just really wanted to have a South Tampa location. And for me, being 40 years in the industry, being at the age of 60 years old, what does the next 30 years of my life look like? It was like, wow, I want to sit back, chillax, and, you know, enjoy the rest of my life. What does that look like? Doing some hair behind the chair because it's my true love and it's what I'm always going to do. But the worry of being a salon owner was getting to a point where it was getting to be a little too much for me. When you can't sleep at night and you think about, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Then it's time to go, let's reassess. Let's take a look and see what we can do. If anybody's in that situation currently, the things that I would tell you that you need to have is bookkeeper or CPA, the financial expert, because not for nothing, I'm a hairdresser and I'm not that guy. Financial expert, looking at your profit and loss statement. Are you profitable? If you're profitable, now you do have a business that you're able to sell. If you're not profitable, now you have a bunch of assets. And those assets, again, are going to be the price tag. In that price tag is going to be the clientele that you're going to be sending along with it, as well as any salon team members that are doing those clients. Being able to secure the salon team, if you do have members of the salon team that are going to be going with this transition, as ours did, based upon the way we presented it, because again, it was all about the opportunity for growth and something new. And that's what the salon team got excited about. They were looking at new products, new services, just kind of a different shift of even somebody younger coming in and being a part of who they are with social media and all of those things that go with where we are today in today's salon industry. And I think that would probably be the biggest thing I would have a salon owner really look at, as well as an attorney that's going to be on your side to decide the agreement as to like what that looks like in the bill of sale.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. It's great advice. And, you know, I think there's a lot of people out there right now just trying to decide, you know, and I love that you brought it back to understanding and finding your joy, and you weren't feeling that joy in that moment. And you said, okay, I've got to make a shift right now. And I love that so much. And, you know, I do want to talk about, because you mentioned something, and I think this is really, really important, you know, because we do train a lot of salon owners about how to train their team on business too, at the same time, so that they understand, you know, because I know our team understands the difference of being a solopreneur versus being a business owner. And a funny thing, Michael, I had 2 students that came to me that said, hey, we want to open our own salon suite and right out of school. And I said, okay, well, let's think about this. And so I you know, gathered a bunch of questions to them, Michael, of things that they needed to look into first. And, you know, when it was all said and done, and I think they would have pulled the trigger like way too fast because of emotions. But when it was all said and done, when they looked at it, they said, you know what, we don't want to be solopreneurs. We want to be business owners. And so it really came down to that. Like, is that really what you want to do? Like, do you want to do hair for the rest of your life? And like you said, run your business at the same time, basically working alone, right? Because we're talking about a salon suite that's not a salon. And you know, as well as I know, you could probably find space that's bigger for less rent than a salon suite too. Of course, you got to put up the money to put the whole thing together. But can you talk to business owners as well as stylists right now of how they know to make the right decision for them and to not like jump the gun on emotions, right? It's kind of like buying a car. You know, you got to really look at all the different, you know, opportunities here before you go buy a car. You know, don't just, you know, jump in and buy it because you're so excited, you know, of having something new. Can you talk a little bit about advice that you give?
Sure. So what I love about being a part of Inspiring Champions is that it's all focused on business, and it's about those strategies that you have in place that will decide whether or not you have the ideal business model. So we actually have a tool. It's called the Ideal Business Model. And what I love about it is that it's a worksheet and it's a program that we take all of our clients through, that has them realize whether you're an owner or a technician behind the chair, and how many ideal days do you want to work behind the chair as an owner, as a technician. For so many salon owners who work behind the chair, this is vital, because we know for those owners out there who are trying to run a business, trying to train their team, trying to do clientele behind the chair, it's 80-hour work week. And you kill yourself. So you have no time for family. You have no time for fun. The joys in your life. If you can, you're opening the salon, you're working in it all day long. You're dealing with salon guests that either love their hair or maybe don't like their hair so much. And then being able to close it at the end of the day and then go to the bank and put the money in. And then on the way to the salon the next day, be able to stop at the beauty supply to pick up the supplies and make the order, so many things. So the ideal business model determines the ideal amount of days you want to work behind the chair, the hours you want to work behind the chair, how many days you want to work on your business. And through this process, really having a target of how much money do you want to work as a technician? What is the service dollars and retail dollars and goal that you want to create? Mm-hmm. If you're a young kid who doesn't have a clientele and coming out of school, well, straight away, there is no clientele. So if you're really solo, all by yourself, do you know how much inventory to carry? Do you know how many guests you need to do in a day in order to pay all of the expenses? Because we've got this thing, it's called, revenue in, right? And expenses out. It's called profit and loss, and without that information and that knowledge, you don't know what you're doing. You're just going by, oh, maybe I'll do some salon guests. I'll, take all the money, but oh, by the way, now I've got to create all of these expenses. So the ideal business model helps to support that. And we've coached people through it, and they've really had a lot of realization, and they've had to make some tough decisions as to, okay, I want to work on my business 2 days a week and behind the chair 3 days of work, and I want to keep it to a 40-hour work week. Or I want to work behind the chair 1 day a week, and I want to work on my business 4 days a week. Or as a technician, I want to work 3 days a week, and in that 3 days a week, I want to have $1,000 week. Great. Now we just have to do the math. And once you start having the strategy and the understanding of what to do behind the chair and what is going to fulfill your dreams the most, now you have a plan, you have a strategy. And for those new talent right out of school, I'd focus on a referral program and having the perfect consultation more than anything. It's about getting the hair right. And it's about having the relationship with the salon guest. It's funny, as I've worked with so much youth, and for those veterans out there, they know, a salon guest is a very interesting individual. We're taking their emotions and doing their hair and having to not just listen, but to really understand what it is that they're saying. And sometimes blonde can mean so many different things that without the experience of asking more questions and digging deeper, those young talent, they're just trying to get it right the first go around. So, get more education, build more relationships. When you get to a point of being 85% booked, well, now you can make in that real hours of productivity in a week. If you're booked 85% of the time, well, now you can look at your business differently. And we're talking, that's probably a good quarter, 3 months, right? Being booked 85%, 3 months in a row. Well, now you're in a place where, oh, I can now raise my price, because raising of prices just doesn't come emotionally like, oh, I think it's time to raise my price. It comes with strategize, and the numbers will never lie. So again, more strategies in the business that, as a business coach can help them with that. But for that new talent, I say, get the education, understand, build the clientele, get them to where you need them, and then have the conversation with your salon owner. first and foremost, let them know what your plans and your dreams and your strategy is. And if you want to be a salon owner, let them know that straight up front. For you salon owners, gosh, rather than open another salon, maybe you need to open some place where, well, currently you're paying them, but at some point, if you owned a suite type salon, then eventually they move into there and then they pay you. Because to me, that sounds like a better strategy. I'll pay you. Then at some point, you're going to want to grow and leave. So let me provide you that place and then you can pay me. To me, that sounds like a win-win situation because we never know how long they're going to stay. If you can get 5 years as a salon, I mean, I was fortunate. I had one for 10. Past that, you know, that's a unique thing in our industry, you know. Sure. And again, we're kind of seeing the industry shift and change. So many independent want to be independent. So, you know, it's definitely something that's happening within our industry. So, you know, salon owners could even think about that hybrid kind of business model. Right. There's got to open the mind a little bit. You know, it's like what I want to tell a salon owner is free your mind, get out of the what you've always done. Yeah. And open it up a little bit. What if there could be more opportunities, especially if you're finding your business going through a little bit of a struggle, for sure.
Yeah. I love that so much. And, you know, I love the what ifs and freeing your mind. And I think it goes back to just educating yourself more about business and understanding and what am I missing and hiring a coach like yourself and, you know, like Sean and I and like inspiring champions that can help find those blind spots. You know, I think one of the biggest blind spots I think most people that I'm coaching, Michael, is they're not educating their team on business because they don't understand business themselves. And so me sitting down with the salon owners and explaining to them, okay, this is your profit and loss statement. This is what it's saying right here. And this is what you need to shift differently. But we talk so much about, you know, setting up systems and foundation and culture because people want a place where they belong and they want a fun space and you know, that sort of thing. So what are you seeing when you're coaching salon owners, and what was that transition for you, Michael, to really understand the business, the salon business, you know, whether it's a solopreneur or it's a business owner, a salon, that a business owner, you know, how were you able to transition yourself to really understand your numbers?
So for us, and why I got so engaged with Inspiring Champions was the effective tools that Lauren has put together. And some of the effective tools was really being able to set a goal. And we have the monthly goal form. So the monthly goal form is all based upon what you've done the previous month and where you at currently. And then where do you want to go? And through this monthly goal form, it takes the where you're at and then gives you insight as to what you could do to effectively increase. And not emotionally, but statistically. And that particular form was the first place to really start to understand where am I at. Where I'm at is what we call a benchmark. So the benchmark is what we've already done. So we know that it's fact. I could pull up a salon report and go, okay, what was my average ticket? What was my total service dollars? What was my total retail dollars? What was the percentage of retail to service? How many new guests did I have? How many people pre-booked? What is my pre-booking percentage? So we like to track all of these numbers. And I think the biggest miss for so many owners and technicians is they don't track where they're currently at. If you track where you're at, now you have a benchmark. You know where you are. Now, if I want to grow and I want to accelerate, now I can set a goal. I can add to it, whether it's I want to grow by 1%, 5%, 25%. The choice is yours. We like to say, be realistic, give you more tools like the perfect consultation to change your dialogue, to make the shift, to not feel awkward about recommending products or services, so that you can reach the goal. But it's kind of like being blindfolded. I don't know what I'm aiming at. So you have to have a target. You have to have something that you're shooting for. There's got to be a number there. From that, we have the daily game plan, and that's the strategy of, what do I have in the book today? I could have $200 on my book today. My goal is $350 a day. Okay, so my gap to goal, I'm already minus $150. How am I going to make $150? Gosh, and then if somebody cancels or no shows, well, now I'm way behind the 8 ball. So having the strategy and specifically targeting products and services is where now you're focusing on business. It's not silly stuff like, hi, how are you doing? Oh, how was your weekend? And talking about things that are not relative to your business. I mean, those things are great when you know your salon client and you service them for years. But boy, the biggest opportunity is somebody that's brand new into the salon, because it opens it up so many products and services to be able to set and reach the goal by letting them know the products and services that you perform through the perfect consultation, which again is another strategy and tool that Inspiring Champions has put together. We learned to customize it for our salon, specifically for an established guest, and then specifically for a new guest. So we actually took it and we maneuvered it and we made it work for us. But monthly goal form, daily game plan, roadmap to success. Roadmap to success is kind of like the tracker. It's the one that every day it's knowing, what were my service dollars? What were my retail dollars? How much did I make in my tips today? All of these components are the numbers of our business. And unfortunately, like I tell so many salon team members, do not let your salon guests dictate how much money you're going to make. Because if you walk in and you've got a $200 day and you go, oh, that's all I'm going to do today, well, you're not going to reach your goals and your dreams. So it all takes dollar bill, y'all. So.
Exactly. Why it's so important to surround yourself with the right people, the right mentors, to be able to reach that. We always say, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go with people. And so, it's interesting because I keep hearing this word being thrown around that I want to be my own business owner because I want more freedom. And you and I were kind of talking a little bit earlier, there's not much freedom in working 80 hours a week, because you're not only a hairstylist, you're still trying to get, a little bit faster with your services. You're still trying to figure out how to make the perfect blonde. There's so many aspects. It takes years to get even good at hair, let alone figuring out how to run a business. Like, it's two complete different hats, and there's no freedom in that. And that was actually the conversation I had with the two students once I started to explain, all of the facets of a salon business, what it was going to take. And they were like, whoa, that I'm not signing up for that. I didn't think I had to do all that. And it's interesting because you and I were talking earlier about, solopreneurs, working behind the chair on their own. They're missing the boat on business. And, I'm coaching a salon suite owner right now, and she's been in the business for 25 years. Another one that I've been working with, she was in business for 11 years on her own as a salon suite owner. And both of them said to me, Tina, I made a mistake. They said, I have nothing to show for it. Nothing. And here we have, and I know you've done the same thing with your team, 20, 23-year-olds buying their own home on commission, right? And because they have something to show for it, they can take it to the bank. This is the kind of money that I've been making, where a lot of solopreneurs don't even report their income.
That's
You and
right.
I both know this. And so that's a devastation to them personally. And so can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think as salon owners, it's my job to train my team on this business. So if you decide, if ever you want to be a solopreneur, let me give you some business background so you understand this. Because I think once you start educating your team on this, it keeps going back to this, you know, like you say, you want freedom, but let me educate you. So can you talk to salon owners and solopreneurs on this as far as advice that you give them?
Oh, absolutely. Because I'm that guy.
Yeah.
Because since I sold my business, you know, you have salon guests that will never let you go. They'll pay you, well, you're still going to do my hair. You're still going to do my hair,
Yeah.
right? And uh, through this process, it was like, okay, now I need to find a space, a loft where I can go and take my um 55 salon guests that I've got because I had whittled myself down to 2 days behind the chair. Those were the committed people, loyalty, no matter what you charge, they'll still come and pay. And through this process, and okay, do I want to completely retire? No, I love doing hair. I love the relationships I have with all of those loyal salon guests. So yeah, now it was time. Where do I go? What do I do? For me, it was now creating an experience that was true to my heart, um, in a single room, in a single chair. What I took with me, though, was the mentality of still being a salon owner.
Right.
Today, I still do my monthly goal form. I track all my numbers. I strategize with what's happening during the day. I look at the potential hours of my productivity in the amount of days that I work during the week and the real hours of productivity that I'm actually doing hair behind the chair and looking at, am I still being 85% productive each day that I'm open behind the chair? Now, with that being said, here's the other part. And there might be a lot of solopreneurs that are out there that are independent and take all the money and put it all in the bank. So to date, I am still an employee of my corporation. So my corporation pays me 46% of my service dollars. That's my income. And that 46% allows me or my business to still be profitable. Yeah. So do I take 100% of the service dollars? I don't. I take 46%, which in order for a salon to be profitable, pay any more than 46% and you're going to really struggle at being profitable. The good news is my expenses went way down. So I'm going to be profitable within my first quarter of my first year of being solo behind the chair. Now, is that for everybody? Might not necessarily be, but you know, the other part of my business model, my ideal business model as an owner is how many days do I want to work behind the chair? I've chosen 2 days behind the chair. If those 2 days get full, I add another day. Now I'm 3 days behind the chair. But then I've got my Inspiring Champions business coaching. And then again, that leaves me another day for other opportunities that I can do to help the industry. So is it all behind the chair? No. But somebody that would be solo behind the chair, when you take all of it, or, ooh, that cash tip, or, ooh, she paid me in cash, so now I'm just going to put it in my pocket, and there it goes. You know, you really need to record the income, because if you want to be $100,000 a year hairstylist, you got to show it on paper. And unfortunately, yeah, you got to pay income tax because it's revenue coming in. Now, for some people, they might go, I need all the money. And I thought I was that guy too. I need all the money. And my business coach said, oh, now you're starting to sound like every other independent technician
Right.
who wants all the money. Well, so you know what? You're right. So I'm going to pay me the 46%, 10% on the retail sales that I get. So if I want more, what do I have to do? I have to strategize. I have to increase service, and I have to make sure that I'm having a professional recommendation of professional products to make sure that the take-home retail products are going out the door with every single salon guest, and making sure that they're pre-booking before they leave. So again, it's all the same. There is no difference in business if you want to be profitable standing behind the chair. Period.
Love it. Perfectly said. And it is, you've got to run it like a business. And like you said, open it up as an LLC and then pay yourself and be an employee of your company. It's so important. It's imperative, really. And you won't be like my two people that I'm coaching right now that say, Tina, I have nothing to show for it,
Exactly.
which is scary to see, because they're both incredible hairstylists as well, too. Very, very smart women. And, I love what you were talking about with as far as like freedom and being able to work on your own. But can you share with the audience how much right now you're charging for your cuts and your colors for your clients? You've been 40 plus years, you guys. So listen to this. It's not like it's, 1 year behind the chair.
That's right. That's, so, my average ticket is $294.
Perfect.
So,
yeah.
So
you can charge those type of prices because you've been in the business for a long time and you've been highly trained. You're a trainer. For
right.
goodness sakes, you're a salon trainer. You train people how to do hair for years.
Right. And that comes from experience, and the experience. And it's kind of interesting because, where I'm currently at in my loft, there are 2 and 3 people that I used to work with years ago. And to find that they're still charging the same price.
Wow. Yeah.
From so many years ago, or maybe went up $5, $10 here or there. It kind of blew my mind a bit.
Yeah.
And then the coach in me automatically starts coming out and asking more questions to dig a little deeper and ask them what kind of strategies that they've got in place, et cetera, et cetera. And it's interesting. There's a young man, and he's right across my loft. He started the same time I did. And I got so many compliments on how I did my loft, because I want it to be an experience, right? So I made it like my salon, the caliber of what I know and love. And that's giving a great experience, because we know that's what a salon guest is really looking for. Sure, great haircut, great hair color, great style, but really it's a matter of, how do they feel when they leave? So hitting all of those points. But, when I started having conversations with him, I was like, well, what is your average ticket?
He didn't know.
Looked at me, I didn't even know what that was. What is your average ticket? How much, retail take home do you sell? Oh, well, I have guys asking me all the time, what shampoo should I use? And he's got not one bottle of shampoo to sell. So I, automatically just went into automatic coach mode and said, you need to set goals. You need to have a strategy. You've got to have a game plan. What is your dialogue? What is your, and I mean, this guy is pumping out 12 haircuts a day. And I'm just watching him work his ass off. And I want to help and support. So we're kind of moving in that direction. And, through time, I kind of hope that there is a little bit of a shift. To me, if you're standing behind the chair or the nail table or the esthetician bed,
right,
or the massage table, it doesn't matter if you do hair. If you're a service provider, you should be able to set goals, know the benchmark, have a strategy to increase service and retail take-home sales with something, and making sure that people are pre-booking. Be the expert that you are. It doesn't matter, how long you've been in the industry. If you have all the right components and all the right tools, you can be hugely successful. For me, it just took a lot longer because nobody showed me the way. I had to figure it out myself, from, keeping salon guests that were a little good. There was, women that were, one comes to mind that took many years for me to, get it right, but I held on to it, and she's still very, very loyal. So, it takes that kind of initiative, but here's the key thing: consistency. You got to do it every day, every guest, every time.
Right.
The minute you slide off the cracker, there it goes. It's, it's gone, and then it's, I'll do it next week. Oh, I didn't do my goal this month. And then another month goes by, and then another. And now guess what? You're back to, and it's interesting because when we have coaching clients come back to Inspiring Champion, they're like, I was doing so good for so long. And then I stopped coaching, and now nobody held them accountable. Right. So what happened was, then all of a sudden, now they're like, I got to get back to it. This is when I did so well, was I had somebody holding me accountable. So it's literally, and I think, for a lot of independent people, it's hard for them to hold themselves accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so true. It's all about accountability. And that's why you got to get around the right people. I always say iron sharpens iron, so who's sharpening you? And so hire a coach. And we love the Inspiring Champions program. It's absolutely incredible. And I know our team has gone through a lot of their programs, and it's helped us out so much. I refer a lot of people over to Inspiring Champions. And so I want to talk a little bit about, because Sean and I will be kicking off our course March 1st, and we do a course, 6 months of business and leadership training to our salon owners, Michael. And so what we've been talking about is really what we go over for the first month. It's called foundation training. And so going over our numbers and seeing what they look like, culture, systems, all of those things. Then the next month, we focus on fixing their leadership. So being that you've been in the business for 40 plus years and a coach, what do you see right now, especially in 2022, that salon leaders are missing that they need to focus on in their leadership?
Well, I was one of these leaders, because it's one thing to want to be a leader, but leaders, you can't, I want to be a leader. Well, what does that take? Leadership happens when people follow you because you're doing something that's extremely successful. So leaders are, it's hard to train to be a leader. I think you just need to be, and then people will follow. And when you just are, and you're successful, people will gravitate towards you. So now you've become a leader. So for me, I'm a teacher. I like to share. I like to, and it's funny, Lauren Garland will be the first one to tell you. She pointed it out to me the first thing. She's like, you know what you are? You're a teller. You like to tell people what to do. You're right, I do. And so that was probably the biggest hurdle that I've had to overcome, because it's not, they've got to want it more than I want it for them. Unfortunately, I want it more for you than you want it for yourself. So with my salon team, I had to pull back, because I'd be the first one to go, okay, we need to do this and do that and work on this and do that and be this and be that and change this. And That doesn't always work.
Right.
It's asking more questions of, what do you want? What do you want? I want to work less days. Okay, great. Well, let's figure out what that can look like. And we'll go down that lane and we'll find all the things and I'll ask all the questions so that you can figure out the best strategy that you come up with, that we come up with together, and we'll brainstorm a little bit to see what that looks like. I want to own my own home. Awesome. It's great. So where are you currently at? And then we go from there and we'll go down that lane, ask more questions, dig a little bit deeper. So asking more questions and digging deeper for a salon owner is probably one of the things that I would say needs to be the leadership place to start. Yeah. It's not about you, it's really about them and what they want and how you're going to support them to get that. I want to work 3 days a week. Great. But I want to make the same amount of money. Got it. Okay. Now let's see what that looks like and go down that lane. But trying to tell somebody what they need to do is not always the best way because they're not in it as much as you are. So,
yeah. Yeah, it's so good. It's kind of like our parents, right? We don't really want them to tell us what we're supposed to do. We'd rather have them ask us questions. I remember my dad, before he passed, he actually started to get better at this. He went from a tell leader to more of an ask leader. And I was like, whoa, Dad, what's happening to you? You know, he's in his 80s. So it's never too late. It's never too late.
It isn't. That's
to
right.
become a great leader. I love that you said that because that was me too. I was in that mode, that consultant mode all the time, you know, and I think as salon leaders, I think this is what turns off our teams is we're in too much of a consultant mode with our teams and they just don't want to hear it. They would rather come up with the answer themselves. You know, they're smart. So ask them some questions. And so it is an art to learn how to ask questions. I actually had to go through an entire coaching program twice to learn the art of asking questions. And so, you know, as we start to end this out, what advice do you give salon owners of how they should invest in themselves to become a better coach to their team as they move forward and become a better leader?
So for me, it was the advanced leadership program through Inspiring Champions. My business coach, Deborah Hansen, she's phenomenal. She was the one who actually trained me. But what the advanced leadership program was a course that we all joined in over the phone. So it was remote. And this course taught you how to effectively lead your team and coach your team. And, you know, one of the best things that I could tell you is if you were to go to experience..Com, beginning in March, they've got a Champ Camp coming up. From Champ Camp, we're going to sign up the Eagles. So the Soaring Eagles are going to be individual technicians who are inundated in this competition to set goals, create strategies, and at the end of it, there's going to be three a gold, silver, and bronze medal winner. So they're kind of in this competition to watch their business grow, but they're surrounded by like-minded people. So all of these Eagles are going to get together and use the systems and strategies that they learned at Champ Camp and then be able to pull it through. But with that, you know, the other programs that Lauren has put together, the Advanced Leadership Program, great avenue for these salon owners to learn how to, I don't know how to coach my team. How do I do that? And that was probably the most effective ways of doing it because, again, we're held accountable. So there's homework involved. There's exercises that you've got to do where you'll take one salon team member and you'll just specifically work with them so that you get it right, you practice through it, and then you launch it on the entire team. And that seemed to be about one of the most effective ways to go about doing it. Again, for me, that was probably the most difficult because first and foremost, I want to be a teacher. And I even actually have one coaching client who's like going, you know what, I get the whole asking me question, you know what, but there's sometimes you just need to tell me what to do.
Just tell me.
Okay. then I'm good with that. So when we're at that point, we'll call it brainstorming, and you know what?
Call it a day.
Yeah. And again, it's when it's needed, you know, like let's just get to the point and move on a little bit quicker, but it's what she wanted. So again, it kind of goes back to that.
I love that. And you have to be, leaders are readers of people. And so you have to learn how to read your people. And it may be where they need you to tell them exactly what to do, you know? And so I love that you said that, because you brought it full circle for sure. So the best way to get a hold of you, is that through inspiringchampions.com. What's the best way to get a hold of you to be able to find out some of the programs that you're working with so that people can
So the best way to get a hold of me is through my email. So that would be saloncoach100@gmail.com.
saloncoach100@gmail.com.
Yeah. And then, of course, you can always go to inspiringchampions.com. And on their website, they've got all of their programs listed. And if you go under business coaching, there's a little place there where it's got my little picture and bio. And that's currently what brings me the most amount of joy, because again, it's kind of paying it forward. And any way that I can help anybody who works behind the chair, works with a team, or if you're solo and you're independent, you know, I've kind of, if you're a salon owner looking to, you know, sell your business, there's a lot of different avenues from experience. And some of them I've learned the hard way, but you know what? It's all about the experience, and anything that I can do to pay it forward to help somebody else within our industry just brings me that much joy. And that's what I'm targeting for my life, is getting that much joy out of helping other people, for sure.
I love that so much. And I tell you, the industry is so blessed to be able to have you working more with stylists and with salon owners. So thank you for doing that. One last piece of advice as we close this out, Michael, and thank you so much for being a part of Next Level Salon Leadership Podcast. And so one last piece of advice that you might have.
One last piece of advice. I think my one last piece of advice would be consistent and hold yourself accountable, because nobody else is going to. So it's even like, you know, I sold my salon. I left these kids. I love them to death. The one thing that I hope is that they continue to do all of the things that we shared throughout the journey, and that they hold on to it. And even the ones that left me, those senior team members, I really hope that they still set goals, track their numbers, and see what they need to do in order to be successful. Because you know what? Be consistent and hold yourself accountable, because that's what I'm doing. And going down this other journey is going to be consistent. And I'll be that one who says, you know, it's all based upon holding myself accountable. So
it's everything. It's everything. I love this so much. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you. And thank you for joining us live. Those of you that joined us live too. So take care, Michael.
Thanks,
Bye.
Tina. Bye.